everybody. What is going on? It's a great Saturday night right here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm Nate Smith and I am the Tundra Bowl director. And guys, we are just 3 weeks away from Tundra Bowl 8, a time that we've been waiting for it seems like forever, with just the landscape of how things have been. It's really great to see everybody. I'm going to try and monitor chats on Facebook and Twitch. We're actually going to give away a prize later on in the show. Yeah, just really happy to be with you guys. If you have not yet registered, make sure you do so. Tundrabowl.com, you can see it right there on the stream, or tundrabowl.com/registration. So we have to put in our shirt orders coming up first thing Monday morning. So that means registration as far as the shirt sizes go, I'm going to need it by Sunday. If not, I do always order extra, but do not count on that to be your fallback. I do always order extra, but you may not get your size or style. So if you want to make sure that you get the exact size shirt that you want from this year's event, make sure that you register tundrabowl.com/registration. It is really great to be with you guys. I see Justin and Troy there. How you guys doing? It's coming up real fast. For those that were kind of paying attention to Discord earlier, Sammy Smith, who does run Millar's Mayhem over in Minnesota, had a small little get-together to practice up for Tundra, which I love to see. I know that guys are popping up here and there for getting in some live games, practicing up for this Tecmo Super Bowl National Championship. It's going to be phenomenal. We just got a couple more registrations this time for D2, which is great. We're sitting at about mid 50s right now, so we're actually on pace from what we had last year to hit. Last year we hit 81. Hopefully we can hit right around that again this year. Again, we want to make sure that we're providing the safest atmosphere possible for you guys. Just as a heads up, Wisconsin does have a mask mandate in place until April 5th. We'll follow up with information as we find that out. But if there is one in place, you're going to be required to wear masks at the tournament, simply because it's going to be, mandated by the state. So hopefully that'll come out with some news pretty quickly here, being at the end of March here, and we'll get that to you as soon as humanly possible. For those that have been on our email list, you guys have seen some of the prizes. Actually gave you guys a little bit of a preview. So if you haven't gotten on our email list, make sure that you guys get that contact info to me, because once in a while we'll send out something that's a little bit of a preview of what we're going to be doing, to give those people who are on our contact list a little heads up. Hey, we got Randy Wags. Buddha Bomb actually is one of the registrations that just came in, which is great to see. So glad you're returning. And Randy, glad to have you back as well. Congratulations on your new little one. Hopefully everything's going well there. Seems to be that it is, which is great. And looking forward to having you up here again. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to get into the slideshow that we're going to talk about here today. So there I am in the corner, up in the little corner up there. Shouldn't be getting into any of the chat or any of the text boxes in there, so I'm just going to kind of hang out in the corner there while we go through this. All right, so we are going to go through Tundra Bowl's historical stats and Tundra Bowl 8 prizes. We're also going to do some Twist of Fate reveals. We're going to reveal the first 6 Twist of Fate items that are going to be on the wheel for you guys to spin here on April 16th. And as you can see, April 16th, 17th is our Tundra Bowl weekend right here in Green Bay, Wisconsin at the awesome watering hole. We have phenomenal sponsors, and we always do each and every year. For those that have been with us for a number of years, Aunt Ethel's unfortunately was a casualty of the coronavirus. So they had to close up shop. But, we've got Game Trade again sponsoring the main events. Watering Hole, who's always been phenomenal hosts. We've hosted it there for every single one, and you couldn't ask for a better place to host it. So Ben and the whole crew over there do just a phenomenal job. And we've always gotten the greatest bartenders up top too. So it's always a great time. And Card and Coin, which is one of the prizes we're going to be giving away here from them. They've been phenomenal sponsors too. We've got Team Apparel. We've got just a number of great sponsors that continue to support us here. So we're really glad to partner again with all of those. We also have 2 fundraisers coming up actually this year. So I will preview that just a little bit right now. We're going to have 2 things that we're going to be raising money for. First, obviously, is my brother's keeper, Harry Sidney. He's been gracious enough to come out the last couple years. This year, he had a prior scheduled event that he could not get out of. So he will not be there this year. However, he did donate an autographed football and an autographed book for us to give away within the Tecmo Challenge. A portion of that Tecmo Challenge money raised is going to go right towards My Brother's Keeper. Over the last 2 years, we've raised over $1,100 for My Brother's Keeper, which mentors boys and young men. Just really some life-altering mentoring and counseling that they do through there, and it's just phenomenal. They've served over 10,000 people in the last I think it's been last decade or last 2 decades already. They've been around for a while and have done a lot of great work in the area. For those that aren't from the area, check it out. It's just, they do a phenomenal job. And then we're also going to be raising money for the Children's Hospital this year, and I'll go into that a little bit later as well. There's a partnership with Game Trade that we're doing that we can raise some money for Children's Hospital as well, which is going to be phenomenal. So, you know, the longer that we do this, the more that we can help and reach out, you know, obviously the better, you know, people can be helped through this. And that's ultimately what this is for, is to, number one, provide an event for people to come to and enjoy playing a game, you know, that most of us have played for years. But then number two, obviously, with that responsibility of being a tournament of the size that we are, we obviously want to make sure that we are giving back to the community as well. All right, let's see. We are going to move on. Here we go. All right. So stats and prizes preview. We're going to take a look at lifetime stats. We're going to be looking at total stats over the 7 Tundra Bowl tournaments. That'll be the first part of our show here. We're going to talk about current participants that have signed up. Now, obviously, with the 2 that just signed up, haven't gotten a chance to alter the slides just yet. There are a number of people on the fence that have basically been told to either book it or, you know, their majority coming. So we do have a slide that shows, you know, people that are basically on the bubble, you know, people that haven't quite registered just yet. Tecmo Twist Fate editions. So we're going to take a look and reveal some of the Twist Fate editions, and then recap of those that were selected. And then obviously the prize reveals for our door prizes, Division 2, and the Tecmo Challenge as well. All right, so by the numbers, over the last 7 years, there have been 200 total players. These are 200 unique players that have played in Tundra Bowl, which is phenomenal. I didn't realize it was exactly 200 until I started doing these slides. So we've had 200 people from 17 different states, which is just awesome to see. And then we've had 6 out of our 7 Tundra Bowls have had different champions, which shows there's obviously a lot of parity in Tecmo, but it's also not the same people winning the tournament, which is awesome to see. The attendance since Tundra Bowl 1 started at 26 people. Last year we had 81 paid registered players. So it's been quite the climb since Tundra Bowl 1. Interesting, some of you know this, some of you may not know this. It's something that I kind of sprinkle in here and there. Originally, the whole idea came from, we had started doing our the yearly updated ROM tournaments at my house with myself and about a dozen guys. And we'd do just a quarterly tournament with the updated ROM. Actually had a trophy. I should have pulled it from the garage, but we used to pass that trophy around. We'd get the plaques. It was awesome. And then we found out about Madison, and you know, the rest is obviously history there. But you know, this started basically from just getting together with a group of friends, which most of the time that's what happens. So over the course of 7 Tundra Bowls, we've had over 39,000, almost 40,000 points scored, and approximately an average of 8.3 spotted cows consumed per group, which is an unofficial number. So for the stats, this, if you guys don't know, stats take forever. I love stats. I love numbers. I always have. There was a time that I wanted to actually go and be a statistician when I was a kid. And this to me, like, I love doing this stuff. It's just fun to see the numbers and what they actually show. So what I did for the stats, it takes dozens and dozens of hours to try and pull together all the stats from all the Tundra Bowls. And we have a running total on our website, tundrabowl.com, and then I think it's /players. So the stats for all players, took a look at games played, wins and losses, points scored, points against, and point differential. And then Division 1 specific bracket finishing position. So we took a look at where they finished in the bracket. Should they have made the round of 32, Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4, or the championship? So I took a look at all that and broke all that down, so you guys get a historical perspective of Tundra Bowl stats and how people fare at Tundra Bowl. All right, so the first couple slides, I'll warn you right now, are not as important as the next ones after that, because a lot of this has to show with longevity. Now, some of this does obviously have to do with skill, because the further you go in the brackets, the more games you're going to play, but it's not as important as, say, something like win percentage. So over the course of the 7 years, the total number of games played, I have 65. Primetime, who came in second last year to Joey Gatz, has 62, and Coconuts has 50. Shower Babies is coming in fourth at 49. He will not be returning this year, unfortunately. He's kind of exited the Tecmo scene, so his record will be, he'll drop down the list there. And then fifth is Rico, who obviously is going to be returning again this year as well. Kev, the name Shower Babies was an interesting one. It actually originated in Madison. It was kind of an inside joke, and anyways, we won't go into it, but that's where it came from. All right, total wins over the course of the 7 years. I have 47. Primetime has 46. And Coconuts has 39. Regulators got 37. And here's the interesting thing. I guess it's no surprise to anyone, but he obviously has not been to every Tundra Bowl, and he's going to just climb up these ranks in a matter of no time. Rico also has 31 as well. Now, total number of points, again, some of this has to do with longevity, but it also has to do with the ability to just simply score in Tecmo. Now, we know a couple people will sometimes run up the score. I am not a person who will do that. I, in fact, discourage it. We had a guy that unfortunately ran up a score against a new person, 77-0 in one of the Tundra Bowls. Basically told him, it's not cool. Like, we want people to come and have a good time and have fun. And this was before we had Division II. In that, but in the same token, I totally get we do a max point differential in group play of 28 points. So I get if you're at 35 or 38, totally get that, because anything can happen in Tecmo where they can score and you want to make sure you have your point differential, but there's no excuses for 77-0. That person ended up getting blown out either in the bracket or the rest of group. So it all worked out the way it did, but it's never acceptable for me to see that happen. We want everybody to come and have a good time. So I have 1,291. Coconuts has 1,184. And two other members of the 1,000-point club are Rico and Regulator. Now, there are two players between Regulator, and then you see on the bottom Tim Poppy and the Shield there. That would be Son of Pat Beach and Arenga. They haven't come, obviously, the past couple years, so I didn't put them on here because I haven't heard anything from them should they ever return to it. Hopefully someday they do. Josh is a previous champion, and Tony has done very well at the tournament as well, so hopefully, they come and hang out with us again sometime. But Tim Poppy and the Shield are probably the next two that'll end up getting to that 1,000-point total. They'd have to have an incredible year basically running to the championship with high-scoring games in order to get there this year, but realistically, it's going to be happening at Tundra Bowl 9 that they'll probably both get to that. Win percentage, here's where it comes in to be the most important. What I did is I took win percentage of a minimum of 15 games. The only reason I did that is because if you have Tundra Bowl 1, I believe the minimum games guaranteed were 3 games, and everyone since Tundra Bowl 2 has been at least 4 games. So that would mean you've been to, if you came to 4 Tundra Bowls, any 4 Tundra Bowls, and ended up not making it out of a group out of those 4 times, you would qualify for this win percentage total. So we just did a minimum 15 games because realistically you get there in 2 tournaments if you're going further in the bracket. So no surprise probably to anyone, Regulator has 86% of his games that he wins. I know that people are going to try him, bribe him this year to perhaps allow him not to go much further than what they'd like him to go in the bracket. But we know that Regulator in a clear-minded state is nearly unbeatable. So we've got Joey Gatz coming in second, 81%. Gatz is returning this year. He's going to defend his title. We know that he's kind of, for those that play online, he's kind of dropped off the online scene. He's still there, just not playing games. But he has, he's returning this year, obviously, to Tundra Bowl. And then the beard, that's Jeff B. We kind of nicknamed him that. He came to, I think it was Tundra Bowl 3, came in, won the tournament, and then didn't show up again until last year, which was, great to see him back. Real nice guy. For those that have played against him, pretty quiet when he plays, but he's definitely somebody to be reckoned with as far as Tecmo goes. Fourth place is Coconuts with 78%, and then Son of Pat Beach and Arenga there are 77% as well. All right, you want to make a note there too. 11 players that have minimum 15 games have a 70% winning percentage or higher, which is actually really cool to see. All right, average points for in a minimum of 15 games. Son of Pat Beach is coming in first at 25.2 points per game. And he's not a guy that'll run up the score on you. In fact, these top three are definitely not those guys. They're just that good. The Beard coming in 24.3 and Regulator at 24.2, very close there. Primetime has 23.8 and Coconuts at 23.7. There are 12 players with a minimum of 15 games that average 20 points per game or more. If you're scoring 21 points in a game, most likely you're probably winning that game in Tecmo, depending on if you're going to get in a full-on shootout or not. But if you average 21 points a game, you're looking pretty good for win percentage. Average points against in minimum 15 games. Coconuts at 9.6 is the only one that is sub 10 points, which is quite impressive. Son of Pat Beach 11.2, and Flash 80 makes his first appearance on the list with 11.3. He has a vacation out of town this year, so he will not be returning this year, but has it tentatively planned for next year. Primetime sitting there at fourth with 11.4 points, and Justin Peters, Red 98 set Hut, and Ones are all tied with 11.5 points for fifth place. Note that there are 10 players averaging less than 12 points a game, which is cool to see. All right, average point differential. Son of Pat Beach with 14, Primetime with 12.3, and Regulator and the Beard are at 11.5. So not only are these people winning, they're winning quite convincingly. Gio's got 9.7, and there are 13 players with a minimum 15 games that are winning by 7+ points per game. So here's where we get into the deep runs at Tundra Bowl. So what I did is I created slides for those that have made, this isn't total number of Sweet 16 appearances total. This is Sweet 16 appearances where basically they got knocked out in that round. So you'll see that for the Elite Eight, you'll see that for the Final Four, and you'll see for those that made the championship. So this is people that have made it to the Sweet 16 this many times and then got knocked out in that round. So you've got Flo and Tim Poppy, both with 3 times that they've made it to the Sweet 16 and been eliminated at that point. So basically both of their losses in that double elimination bracket came either back-to-back or basically went 1 and 2 in the bracket. 8 players are tied with 2 times of Sweet 16 and then getting bounced. That would be Primetime, Gio, myself, Arenga, J.E. Big Red, Flash 80, Hank the Tank, and Sammy Smith. And then 29 players that have made it to the Sweet 16 then got bounced once. That would be Justin Peters, Ryan 11P, who's making his return this year. Cool to see. DPS, Sanchez, Nelson 79, NMU Fred, K-Cab, Darth Rockman, among a whole lot of others. Total Elite 8 appearances. So when they got to the Elite 8, somewhere between 5th place and 8th place, this is where they got bounced. 3 players are tied with 3 times that's happened. That's myself, Coconuts, and Hichi. Twice Joey Gatz has made it to the Elite 8 and gotten bounced. And then 18 players have been tied, getting there once and then getting bounced within that Elite 8. Tim Poppy, Justin Peters, Sanchez, Red 98 said Hut, Woodshed, The Shield, among many others. And total Final Four appearances. Primetime has 3 Final Four appearances, and I know Hoff is going to maybe disagree with me here, but I know that Primetime shows up well at Tundra every single year and plays really well live there. So I don't know if it's like his second home, but he just does phenomenally when he gets there. Myself and Ones made it to the Final Four twice and then got bounced. And then 8 players are tied with 1 appearance, which would be Coconuts, Son of Pat Beach, The Shield, Nelson 79, Tecmo Bo, Regulator, Rick Fenney, and DT. And this next slide is going to be quite apparent of where you separate the, basically co-greatest with the rest of the people. So Regulator has 3 championship appearances. I don't remember exactly how many he's been to. I want to say it's 5. So to have a 60% rate of him getting to the championship, well, actually, that would be 3 out of 7. So, just shy. So it'd be what, like 43%. That's incredibly impressive. And then with 11 players have been tied for a championship appearance with 1. Some of them won it. Some of them have not. Primetime, Coconuts, Son of Pat Beach, Joey Gatz, Gio, The Beard. You've got Justin Peters. I cannot read that other one right there. It's a little small there. Red 98 said Hut, Rico, and Orenga as well. All right, so moving on. Again, that gets really, really weedy as far as the stats go, but it's something that I like to show you guys because some of you guys are stat people like myself. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. Oh, and then one more slide here. Total Sweet 16 and beyond appearances, so getting at least to the Sweet 16. I've done it 7 times, so all the Tundra Bowls. Primetime's done it 6 times out of the 7 he's attended. Coconuts has done it 5 times out of the 6 that he's attended. And then you've got 4 appearances from Regulator, Tim, Poppy, and Rico. And then 3 appearances of Sweet 16 and beyond by Son of Pat Beach, Joey Gatz, Justin Peters, Gio, Hichi, Flo, and Orenga. Troy, I will check that right now and let you know because I can tell you where that is. You have a Final Four appearance in, you're right, it is 4 of them. Tundra Bowl 1, Tundra Bowl 2, Tundra Bowl 3, and Tundra Bowl 7. I did miscalculate that. Well done. All right, moving on. Current players that are registered right now. Regulator obviously has 86% win percentage, so I wrote a couple notes on the current players that are registered just to give you guys a heads up. These guys are all, I believe, Division I people. So Regulator's got 86%. He's the only multi-time Tundra Bowl champion, which was Tundra Bowl 4 and 6. He's known for his taps. Now, obviously, people have started to perfect the slide tap, so some people are getting into the 20s. But for a long time, Regulator was the gold standard at that, 16, 17 taps per grapple. And then Regulator in right mind, we've talked about this, is near unbeatable. Joey Gatz, 81% win percentage. 3-time world champion, 1-time national champion. He's really methodical and he rarely makes mistakes. Semi-retired because, like I talked about earlier, he doesn't play online anymore, but he is around. And then Primetime, 74% win percentage. He was last year's runner-up. He's a consistent veteran with experience and success in many live and online tourneys, and has attended all Tundra Bowl tourneys. Red 98 said Hut, so that's Lou. Lou is coming back again this year. 73% win percentage. He's a Tundra Bowl 5 champion, and when he's on, he's going to be a tough out for anyone. He plays stellar defense. He's only allowed 11.5 points per game. Myself, I have 72% win percentage. My best finish is 4th, and I am notoriously a mediocre online player. And then Justin Peters, 72 win percentage as well. He's a calculated player that delivers consistency across the board. He's Tundra Bowl 6 runner-up, and onside kicks can give him some trouble. That would be in the championship against Regulator. You guys might want to go check that out back over on our Twitch channel. We do have that there. Justin's probably watching right now, gritting his teeth or laughing. It's one of the two. Woodshed is up there, 71% win percentage. Previous winner of Tecmo Cleveland, reigning 2v2 champion with Jim Sox. Both of them are returning this year. And he lost to DT in the round of 32, who ended up finishing 3rd. Hawkeye 98, 71% win percentage. Division 2 champion last year. It's his 3rd visit to Tundra Bowl. He was D1 in 2019, and he puts up an average of 20.0 points per game. The Shield 67% win percentage. Thunderdome 12 winner. He is no longer in Thunderdome. Thunderdome's still going on. If you guys haven't checked that out, make sure you check that out on Hoff's Twitch channel. War and Hoff do a phenomenal job, second to none with the online tourney. They've got 100 people, and the presentation is far beyond anything I'm ever going to do. So they just do a great job. So if you have a chance, check it out. They'll be running that. I believe it is tomorrow night. I believe they'll be on the call. So check it out for sure. His Shield's highest finish at Tundra Bowl is third in Division 1. He's also a former Division 2 champion and a credible threat to the title each and every year. Returning players, and some of these guys, some of you will definitely see people here that will absolutely be a threat to the title. Now, the only reason I didn't put them on the current players registered in the previous 3 slides because I did it strictly by win percentage at Tundra. I did not do it by a ranking of who I think is going to win the championship because I would not be anywhere on those 3 slides. There would be a number of people in these returning players or on the bubble players that definitely would be. The players that you see here and the players on the last 3 slides are potential number 1 seeds, obviously. It's going to be quite the endeavor to try and seed this thing. I started doing a rough draft of it the other day, and I am going to have a very interesting time doing so. There's going to be a lot of controversy, but this whole thing is going to just be one big bloodbath in D1, and it's going to be awesome because you get to play the best of the best all the time. There are definitely no cakewalks in Division 1. So returning players that are coming, familiar faces, Randy Wags, talked about that earlier. Rico, Ludio 1, he's hopping up to Division 1 this year after placing runner-up last year. Tim Poppy. Ryan 11P is returning after a number of years off. Super Duper, NMU Fred. Jeff is coming back. Nelson 79. DPS, obviously, great to have him back too. Casual T, Sammy Smith, Hoff, obviously, is going to be on the call. He is the voice of Tundra and does a phenomenal job at it. Simple Simon, Swags, Nostradamus, and more are going to be the returning players. On the bubble players are Flo. I am almost guaranteeing he's coming. Ripping you a new one, which is Kramer. Darth Rockman. Beef Juice is going to be a last-minute addition, potentially. We do have Kevin Cabarello, who said he's going to be coming too. Matty D is, I've been told to book it already. Haven't seen the registration come through, but you can count on him coming. Trojan, Nicolino, Arn, and many more. DT's also sitting there on the bubble as well as Tick from last year too. New players that have not been to Tundra Bowl. Obviously, you'll know a couple of these guys because they're veterans, not just of online Tecmo, but live Tecmo. So they definitely, put in the time to be really good at what they do. So Airbon Tempo's coming back. For those of you that don't know him, he is a 2-time Madison World Champion. So he will be coming to Tundra Bowl for the first time. Riddler's coming. Kevin Molnar, he's coming, which is awesome to see those guys. Youngtel coming all the way out from California. Manuel's coming from Washington. Segathon from Minnesota, but really glad to have him as well. And then we've got Pally Stacks. We've got Broadway Joe from Michigan. You've got the trio coming from California that just signed up. That's Daniel, Robert, and Jack. Really great to see them coming out. And then you've got another trio from Colorado. You got Chris from Texas, Tony from Florida. We got 14 states already, which is what we had last year total. So it's really cool to see people are taking the time to take time out of their daily schedules and their vacation time and just come on out and have a good time at Tundra. I'm humbled by it. It's really cool to see because our team does just such a phenomenal job. They pour their hearts and souls into this thing, and there's not a team out there that's gonna beat them. They're just phenomenal on game day. So it's going to be another great time like always. Now I put predictions in here. The reason I put this in here is because I'd love to hear out of the people that you've seen in the returning players on the slides previously or on the bubble. So those 3 slides, returning players are on the bubble. Who are some people that you think are going to be number 1 seeds? I know we can obviously pick out Regulator and Gats right away, but who are some of those that you feel in this field right now would be number 1 seeds? So if I'm looking back, number 1 seeds off the top of my head that are a lock are obviously going to be Gats and Regulator. Gats and Regulator definitely are going to be locks as number 1 seeds. And that's where it gets interesting, because if you take those 2 players, and let's just say we go with the 14, 15 groups, your number 2 seeds, almost all of the number 2 seeds could potentially be a number 1 seed in some other live tournaments, which is insane to think about, because what we're going to try and do this year is actually seed 3 in each group. So that's going to be a ridiculous endeavor to try and do. And I realize that it's going to cause some controversy, not intentionally, obviously. Some people just need to be able to set their kind of pride and egos aside and just realize, like, it might not be that you get the seed that you think you are. And obviously it's never intended to do any harm. But anything of this endeavor, I always get feedback from other people in the community before the seeds actually get released, before the groups actually get released. Each and every year it's, I work with Bailey, who's QB Browns. I work with Brewdog. I work with Hoff. So I work with all 3 of them as far as making sure that our groups are as even as humanly possible. Obviously, we'll have walk-ins on game day that shuffle a few people here and there, but even on game day, I run those by the people that are there. Last year, I got to run it by Brew and Browns and Hoff, because all 3 of them were there, which is awesome. So we'll continue to obviously balance this as best we can, but we're going to try and seed all 3. Seed the top 3 in each group, and then have 2 unranked people. Let's see who you guys think. So, you've got... Let's check this out over on Facebook real quick. People are saying between Facebook and Twitch, we got a few votes for DPS, who's a phenomenal player and has, over the last year to 2 years, improved greatly. He's a tough out for anybody. We got some votes for Bomb Tempo, Shield, obviously Regulator Gats, Lou, Primetime, JP, myself, Rico, Maddie D. Got a vote for Nostradamus in there. Let's see what else. Another one for Shield. Another couple for Lou. Arn, too, if he comes, he's obviously a great player as well. So it's going to be quite the endeavor to try and seed this. A lot of those guys that you guys have mentioned are potential number 1 seeds. I think some people are more of a lock than other people in those. But it's really great to see that the quality of players that we have coming to Tundra Bowl, both in D1 and D2, is phenomenal. So not only am I happy to see the heavy hitters come out to the tournament, because I think it just provides for a great atmosphere, and let's face it, the guys are they're all great guys, which is cool to see. But I'm also very, very happy for those that are coming out for the first time, and hopefully we can put on a show that you guys will, remember for the rest of your lives, which, we always aim to do it the best of our abilities each and every year, and are just grateful that you've chosen to come and hang out with us. All right, so Tecmo Twist of Fate. We're going to run through 2 slides of Twist of Fate, 6 events that we have went ahead and put on for the wheel that we've locked into. After these 2 slides, you're going to have to get your fingers ready, because we're going to be doing a trivia question that I'm going to make you guys work for the prize that we're going to give away live here. All right, so the Tecmo Twist of Fate. The first 3 we're going to go through that are going to be on the wheel is no punting for player 2. So player 2 cannot punt in any circumstance, regardless of down or clock management. So if it's 10 seconds into the game, you're up by 3, you want to punt it away, not happening. So player 2 cannot punt if, obviously, the wheel spins for this. There's only going to be 1 condition, just so we're clear on this, 1 condition per game. So it's not like you're going to have no punting and all backups and anything else. So it's going to be 1 condition that you spin the wheel, whatever it lands on is your condition for the game. Most of them affect both players. Some affect solely player 1. Some affect solely player 2. The second one that we're going to for sure put on there is all backups for player one. Player one must have all backups in for offensive starters. So after you guys obviously flip the coin, get the toss, call the teams, get your controllers, get your playbooks, get your rosters all set, that's when you spin the twist of fate. So you're going to set it up exactly like a normal game would be, and then the twist of fate's going to give you that random occurrence that's going to kind of throw a loop and everything. This is going to be a blast. I'm really looking forward to this event. For me, I love this randomness. And, whether I end up doing well or completely, succumb to the fate of the wheel, so be it. It's just going to be fun to be a part of it. So player one will have all backups in. That means all your offensive starters, your quarterback's a backup. Your 2 running backs, you got to swap out with 2 other running backs. Your 2 receivers, swap out with 2 other receivers. Tight end, swap it out with another tight end. So it's all of that. And you can't, unfortunately, get injured, Pete, because it's a preseason. So unfortunately, no injuries are going to happen in that game. So you're just kind of stuck with your backups in that circumstance. All right, moving on to random teams, default playbooks and rosters. Players will be assigned random teams and must leave their playbook and roster as the original default. Now, some of you actually really like this and like the random team default playbook and roster. I am just not a huge fan of it because some of the playbooks are just atrocious. But for those who know the teams that they want to call to try and avoid this, that they like their playbooks, it might not be a bad idea to call those teams. All right, backup QBs only. So each team will only be able to play with their backup QBs all game. So, if we could end up, a really high-hitting San Francisco versus the Oilers, you got Carlson versus Young, that would be interesting, to say the least. We also have no-look Tecmo. So, on a road trip out to, I think it was over to Midwest Tecmo. I think we did some no-look Tecmo in the van where we couldn't look at our plays after. So we'd set up our playbooks, we'd set up our rosters, but then you couldn't look at the screen at all for the entire game, which was quite an interesting endeavor. What we are going to do with this is make it no-look Tecmo, but players are going to face the opposite direction of the TV starting in quarter 2. So it's very vital to make sure that you get the coin toss or receive that kickoff, and then hopefully you're able to control the clock and score before quarter 2 begins, because I get the feeling that it's going to be really hard to score in this. And then the 6th one that we will add, that's a for sure one, is swapping teams and controllers. Players essentially swap roles of player 1 and player 2, swapping teams and controllers. So once you set up, if I'm the Eagles and Molnar is the Giants, we set up, everything's set up. We spin this on the wheel. We swap chairs and controllers and teams, and you're basically just taking the place of the other player. We are going to have some more Twist of Fate ideas coming out. We'll probably reveal those during the group show, the group reveal show. That will be happening in 2 weeks here. So I don't have an exact date for you yet. Tentatively, I would say it's probably that Friday, which I think is April 9th. So that's going to be the tentative time, but we'll make sure that we get you guys a heads up as we go. All right, time for trivia. What's on the line today is going to be a $10 gift certificate to Card and Coin. Card and Coin Corner has a lot of great things. It's where I've picked up a few of the prizes for Tundra Bowl. But it's a $10 gift certificate for you guys to spend in the shop. It's a phenomenal shop. I actually have been going there since I was a kid. And it's just, they've got a new location. It's right down the street from Lambeau Field. But it's going to be a $10 gift certificate for that. So the first person to answer this correctly in the chat, I've got both Facebook and Twitch pulled up. So whichever one comes through first is going to end up winning it. The question is, who is the player with a 500 record or lower, so 50% win percentage or lower, that has the greatest positive point differential in Tundra Bowl history? So the name I need and the career point differential, so that way I know you have the right player. You can find this again at tundrabowl.com and I think it's /players. But if you go to Tundra Bowl and then click on players, in that it is not Gats. He does not have a 500 record or lower. So we're talking anybody that could have 0% win percentage to a 50% win percentage. Who has the highest positive point differential in Tundra Bowl history? It is not you, Troy. It is not. You're up there, but it's not you. It is not Hank. You guys really just need to look on the website, get the name, get the point differential. Hank does have +6, but it is not the greatest positive point differential. Kev, it might be too much work, but if it's worth it, you'll work it. We'll come back to that. But anybody who can put that in the chat, we'll go ahead and honor that. All right, so door prizes this year. So Haywood Jeffries, we are giving away a Haywood Jeffries autographed Oilers jersey as a door prize. So any paid registration for Tundra Bowl, either Division 1 or Division 2, will be entered to win the Haywood Jeffries autographed Oilers jersey. So it doesn't matter what division you're in. If you're a paid registrant, you're in the drawing for that. We're also going to give away an Aaron Rodgers Green Bay Packers bobblehead. And we will also give away a Green Bay hat and green and gold travel blanket. So we'll give away those things as door prizes. But that will be for any division. So as you come through the door, when you register, or, obviously most of you have registered online already, we'll go ahead and check off your name. You're entered for the door prize. And then you'll also be assigned a team. We talked about this last broadcast because we're going to do our simulated season. And we'll give away a prize for the simulated season as well. That's in between group and bracket play. Division 2 prizes. Again, if you saw our email, we had announced this through the email. But otherwise, if you didn't, you have seen it here. Yes, DPS Hank is a -71. I did not look when Pete did +6, but you're right. He is... let me just verify that. He is 41% at -71. Yep, that is correct. All right. So Division 2 prizes. First place is going to win a John Taylor autographed 49ers jersey. It's been authenticated. And you also get a Tundra Bowl 9 Division 1 entry. That Tundra Bowl 9 Division 1 entry is just like the Tundra Bowl 8 Division 1 entry that Hawkeye won from last year for winning Division 2. So not only do you get that free entry for Division 1 for the next year, you end up getting the John Taylor autographed San Francisco 49ers jersey as well. Second place is going to win the Don Beebe autographed Packers mini helmet. So that is second place. And third place is an 8x10 signed photo by Stephen Baker. So you guys, this is our Division 2 prizes for second and third place. Right now, our Division 1 entries outpace our Division 2 entries almost by 4 times. So you've got actually a pretty good shot right now of winning a Division 2 prize. I will tell you right now, if you know anybody who wants to come out and play Tecmo, there's no better way to do it than starting in Division 2 if they haven't played in a while or feel like their skills aren't those of Division 1. Definitely get somebody to come out and play Division 2. You guys know how good of a time it is. And plus, they got a good shot at winning a prize. All right, Tecmo Challenge. So here is our Tecmo Challenge. This year, it's going to be $5 like it is every other year. Some of the prizes that we have are the Harry Sidney autographed football and book. Tecmo Super Bowl canvas, which is actually a pretty big canvas. I think it's like, 24 by 18, something like that. We've got mystery boxes that contain autographs or rookie cards and more. We always, those cards, those mystery card boxes are always a hit. Super Bowl 25 pennant. We've got Super Bowl 28 mirror. A Super Bowl ticket frame poster, NFL electronic football game, autographed Jay Schrader jersey. So that is also in the Tecmo Challenge as well this year. And there is a grand prize that you guys do not want to miss. This is something that I disqualify myself from any door prizes or Tecmo Challenge prizes or the team simulation prizes. There's one prize coming up a little later that I'm going to. That would be obviously for the charity thing, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But because I run it, I'm not gonna try and get this grand prize, but it's gonna blow your mind. The Tecmo Challenge this year, last year we had it with a touchdown with Harry Sidney. It is going to be that you, as the player, have to kick a 57-yard field goal or higher. So basically, if you're on the 40-yard line in the opponent's territory or further back, with Nick Lowry, if you guys obviously didn't see our Nick Lowry announcement, go ahead and check that out. But you have to kick at least a 57-yard field goal with Nick Lowry as KC versus the Giants. So you're going to be going against Lawrence Taylor on that. In one possession, you win a randomly assigned trading card or NFL trading card that could be then tied to more of these prizes. So what you're winning is actually the card. The card could be tied to more of these prizes, which will be drawn randomly. But you have to nail a field goal with Nick Lowry against LT. That has to be at least on the 40-yard line or back. So that's our Tecmo Challenge this year. Some of you will nail this, and it'll be easy because he's the best kicker in the game. Some of you might struggle a little bit with this. And with LT breathing down your neck, it's going to be interesting. But that is our Tecmo Challenge this year. Again, like I said last time, a portion of these proceeds go towards helping MBK. My brother's keeper, again, Harry Sidney's awesome foundation. He was gracious enough to donate that autographed football and book this year as well. Now, we've also got some other prizes down there on in the box down there above my brother's keeper logo. So we've got a ton more Tecmo Challenge prizes. I'm not going to go into all them all because this is going to be a really really great time as far as being able to see the prizes. But we'll talk about the other one here in a minute. You're right, Buddha. This is the hardest Tecmo Challenge that we have yet. But knowing that it's going for charity and knowing that a portion of this is going for charity and knowing what this grand prize is going to be, I hope that it encourages people to test it out, even if you're not the greatest at kicking field goals. All right. The grand prize, which will be unlocked at 100 tickets, is going to be one of these framed autographed jerseys. Now, I'm not going to tell you which one because we are going to display it and we're going to announce it at Tundra Bowl. But it is one of these 10 framed jerseys that are autographed will be going home with you. Again, we unlocked this at 100 tickets. So 100 successful tries at the Tecmo Challenge. This is unlocked. This is going home with somebody. Again, I don't want to spoil out who it is, but it is 100% for sure one of these 10 players, which is going to be great. I want to say a very specific thank you to The Shield for donating this prize. Last year, he donated a number of prizes as well, so I cannot thank him enough for being willing to do this. He, since day one, has been wanting to contribute to the community in this, and not only is he willing to contribute this, but he's also a really good dude. So for those that know him and those that don't know him, he's a great guy. Make sure you tell him thank you for this donation. Because it is one of the best prizes we've ever given away, probably the best prize we've ever given away when it comes to the Tecmo Challenge. All right, so here's the other fundraiser that we are going to do. The Children's Hospital of Wisconsin fundraiser. So what we're going to do, Game Trade has donated a full-on in-box Nintendo Power Set with the power pad, the gun, the game, 2 controllers, and the system. All you have to do is buy a chocolate bar. Now, for those that aren't from the area, Saruji's chocolate, honestly, is the best chocolate that I've ever had. It's phenomenal. So you buy a chocolate bar for $2, and you can buy as many as you want. We only have 96 bars. So we got to sell out of the chocolate bars because we're raising the money for Children's Hospital. 100% of the money raised for Children's Hospital, or from the candy bar sale at the tournament, is going towards the Children's Hospital. So we want to thank Game Trade for donating this power set, this Nintendo Entertainment System power set. This is one prize that I'm absolutely 100% eligible for because I want this for my own collection. So make sure you guys buy these candy bars at the event. Again, it's only $2 each. And then what we'll do is we'll draw for the set sometime and the bracket. Most of the time we'll do the Tecmo Challenge prize giveaway, and this prize giveaway, we do that typically after the round of 32, but before the Sweet 16. That's a nice little break to reseed. So we will definitely do that. So make sure that you guys are buying those as well. So again, 2 fundraising opportunities this year are going to be with the Tecmo Challenge, obviously, with My Brother's Keeper, and then obviously with the Children's Hospital of Wisconsin, with buying those chocolate bars. And again, like, you won't be disappointed with the chocolate bars. They're seriously the best, and I'm not just saying that. Every year we get boxes and like so many different chocolates from Cerrugi's because they're phenomenal. And a great family too. For those that happen to possibly know them, they are a great family-run business. It's a generational business, so it's really cool to see. They're right here in De Pere, Wisconsin, which is just probably 10 minutes away from Tundra Bowl, which is really cool to see. So that is all we have. Troy, you are correct. It is Paul G at plus 70. So you win the $10 card and coin gift certificate. So I'll have that for you at the tournament because I see that you just registered, which is awesome. You know, it's going to be a phenomenal time again. You know, I don't have much more for you here tonight. Know that we're going to do everything that we can to make this the best time humanly possible. This is the only live broadcast we're going to have until we have our group reveal, which will be coming up in just 2 weeks. So we've got Tundra Bowl in 3 weeks, guys. It's going to be, number one, really great to see all of you again. And number two, hopefully really great to beat you all in some Tecmo, in some live Tecmo, because heaven knows I cannot do it online. So if you know anybody who needs to register or wants to register, make sure you try and get it in before tomorrow night so that we have your correct shirt size. Again, like I said, I always order extra, but don't count on having your size there unless you've registered and paid. Again, you can walk in the day of the tournament. We had a number of walk-ins last year. We had probably a good 10 to 12 people either register the week of or walk in the day of. So we always anticipate that, so we do always order more. But if you want it guaranteed, make sure you do it by tomorrow night. Reach out to guys that might not have ever come to the tournament, D1, D2, make sure you do that. Spacing will be a little bit different this year, obviously, but we're going to have food and drink specials on tap, and then we'll obviously have a bartender up there as well. So if you guys do have any questions at all, please don't ever hesitate to ask. If you want to share out this video, that'd be great. If not, I know stats sometimes bore people, but I love it myself. If not, the most important one that you're going to want to share out is probably our Nick Lowry video, or the event, obviously, on Facebook as well. We're going to be running some ads for that here coming up soon. So as always, thank you guys for tuning in. Just really humbled, really grateful to be spending that time with you guys in a few weeks. It'll be really great seeing everybody again. And as always, just thank you for your time, and you guys have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you later.